And I love that. And Muhlenberg College and the Next Genius Foundation given me so much that I really am in debt to them. They have helped me come to America and fulfill my dreams.
Hey Shobha, could you start with introducing yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Shobha Pai. I'm from Bangalore, India. Currently, I'm in Virginia. I'm living with some of my relatives during the summer, but it's really nice to meet everyone. And I'm a psychology and media and communications major. I use she, her pronouns. And I studied in the ISC board in India. I did till 10th grade, I was in the ICC board, and 11th and 12th, I was in the ISC board. So, yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
That's so great. So let's start with you telling us about how your experience was as a Next Genius scholar, specifically at Muhlenberg.
So let me start off with saying that I wasn't going to go to the US. I thought it was too expensive, and as a normal middle class family in India, I thought you couldn't afford it because it is completely, the rates are very unreasonable. So I was like, I can't afford this. But then one of my teachers, my counselor, you can say, she told me about this, and I was like, you know what, let's apply. And I kind of wanted to impress her too, so I was like, okay, let me do whatever she says. So I applied, and the stages were very easy. The test was very easy. The next stage is the filling the application. All that was very easy, just because of the help of Radha ma'am, Devika ma'am, and Devesh sir. They really helped me because I didn't want to go to the US. I was going to study in India for my bachelor's, and for my my master's I was going to go abroad. But then after I got introduced to this, it slowly helped me get used to the idea. And trust me, I was not like, I'm going to get it. Because I was like, okay, let's just go. Let's just see what's happening. Then what happened was I met Mandy, who's the international head of admissions in Muhlenberg, and she trust me, she treated me like family. She was the one who talked to me and spoke to me about how life at college is and how people interact there. And she really treated, like, I met her once, and then the next time we actually spoke, I felt like, she already knew things about me because she remembered from our earlier conversation. And I love that. And Muhlenberg College and the Next Genius Foundation given me so much that I really am in debt to them. They have helped me come to America and fulfill my dreams.
That's pretty amazing and very relatable, I must say. And it is really intimidating to apply to US, considering how difficult it is to get in. So congratulations. And another intimidating experience for international students can be to have a social life in a new country, just making new friends and bonding with peers. So how was your experience that way?
So for this question, I was actually thankful that my first semester was online, because online everyone was looking for friends, and I already knew people before I actually physically came on campus. And so I knew my roommate, because my roommate and I were in the same club. So she asked me to be a roommate, and I was like, fine. And she helped me make friends. And Muhlenberg has a very small international students community, but I feel like that's nice because we all know each other. From freshmen to seniors, we all are a small family. And the Indian students, there are very little Indian students too. It's a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution. So there are very 20 to 30 Indian students, but that's what makes us close and family. And I think the whole social life there is how much you put into it and how nice you are. That's what thing you're gonna get. Right now, I've had so many amazing people around me, and it's the people who I surround myself with that I'm really thankful for this college.
I completely agree to that. So I found out that you were an intern at Fortis Hospital. So being a psychology student, even I'm going to apply there. So how did it go, and what did you have to do there?
So it was a lot of fun. And I was in Bangalore, and basically me and my friend, we went there every day. We sat there. It was not a very hard internship. It was just meant for students to get a little more into psychology, because psychology is such an underdeveloped field in India. Many people think that if you're a psychology major, if you love psychology, it's just like you like reading people's mind, which makes no sense, and it's very like biased. But I think the Fortis internship gave me perspective on different fields in psychology, like sports psychology and like clinical and health psychology, and it gave me a niche too. Like, I found out criminal psychology is what I'm really interested in, but I don't want to study it. Like, I love to learn about it, but I don't want to study it and have it as my career. It gave me like tips on how to do research and how to work with other people, because when you're working with other people, there are like 10 different opinions to choose from, and it really helped me hone my like leadership and people skills.
That's true. Yeah, and since you said that in India, everyone has to be at the peak in their academic lives and they have to score 100 on 100 to be appreciated, that's really messed up. And they always focus on rote learning. And
Exactly.
in the US, the system is completely opposite. It's all about
Yeah.
practical learning. So, did you have any problems dealing with the new academic environment there?
Oh no, I had a problem with rote learning. I cannot by heart to save my life. Like, I remember in like 10th grade or 9th grade, I had to like by heart an answer in English literature, which no one should by heart any answers in. In English literature, it is a very personal subject. But yeah, I had to by heart something, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. And the teacher marked my answer wrong because I didn't write exactly what she gave. And which is very irritating and it's very annoying because it doesn't give any scope for creativity. But here for me, I have learned how to write complex, in-depth papers because I have assignments that tell me to. And the thing in India, the education system in India is such that I don't study for the entire year. The 1 month before the exam, I by heart everything and just vomit it out on the paper. Which works for some people. It works brilliantly. It works brilliantly for my sister. She's amazing at that. But for me, if I'm not with it every day, I will not study in the end. I'll just write something, whatever I can, and I'll come out. But I think the US system of education gives me inspiration to like do something every day because I have assignments to finish. And if I don't have assignments, if I don't submit them, I lose many points. So it gives me an inspiration to learn every day. And I think for me personally, it is a personal thing. The US system of education is much more helpful than the Indian one.
100% agree. Completely. So, fleeing a bit away from the academic life, let's go a little personal. How did you manage your work-study schedule with your leisure activities? Like, how did you take out time for things that you like doing?
So, well, let me first talk about my clubs and all those things, then my work, what I do, and then my what I like when I just hang out. So the thing with Muhlenberg is everyone's involved in something. Like, there you won't find one person who's not doing anything. Everyone's doing something because we are a very creative school, and we have a big theater population. So everyone's doing something or the other. So it's very nice. So there are about 150 plus clubs to apply to and you get in, or you can also create your own clubs, which I think is fabulous. Muhlenberg, and you don't feel like you're doing work when you're going into clubs because you're meeting your friends, you're just hanging out, you're doing what you're talking about what you like. Only if you like something you join that club. So it's not really work, it's just it's enjoyment, and it's the love of studies, the love of editing, or love of anything. I have friends who just go to clubs and talk about their own favorite authors, or they just write something or stuff like that. So I think that's where the club thing goes, that I don't really think of it as work. But my work thing, I'm a campus tour guide, and my hours are very flexible for that. So I can schedule my tours whenever I don't have work, whenever I don't have classes. which is very easy to do because again I told you, Muhlenberg, like professors, students, administration is very flexible with what they do because they know that students would love to be involved.
So, could you tell us something about some challenges or obstacles that you had faced throughout your college life? Since I think you did your first semester online. So, after that, were there any obstacles that you faced, and how did you cope up with it?
Okay, the weather. I'm from Bangalore. Bangalore weather is crazy, but in Allentown, it is very weird because when I first came here, it was the like second biggest like thunder like snowstorm in the city or in the country. So it was hard. It was really hard, but I think it's just the people you surround yourself with, and if you have a good like network or like a social network, I think you can get through anything. Another thing I kind of struggled with is like the familiarity. I lived in Bangalore for 18 years. I knew everything about that city and I loved that place. But coming to a new place, it's just like you have no one that you can actually, like if someone asks you, where do you get the best food? You don't know because you've never been to this place. So the familiarity aspect is still something I'm working on, and it's something that everyone works on because it's with time you improve, but that's okay. And then another like thing with academics specifically is the college writing is very difficult and it's very different to what writing we do in India. It's like two different corners. It's very difficult.
Noted. Thank you. So moving on, students in India, they usually know nothing about managing their finances or just how to spend money and where to spend it and how it actually works, because they're usually very dependent on their own parents. So it's very difficult for them to move to a different place and then they have to start earning. Now they have to start managing. How did you do that?
So first of all, I'm a kind of a very organized person. So I have 200 Google Sheets with all my finances in. So I wouldn't tell you to do that, but I would ask for help. The Next Genius Foundation, they had seminars and webinars where you could sit down and talk to people who are experts in this field. And the one thing, financial literacy is zero in India. There are so many people who are very bad with money, and that's just that's the culture, and it's horrible. So ask for help, do your research, because this is kind of the first, people say college is the first days of your entire life, which is very true, because no one's going to tell you oh, don't spend money or spend money. No one's going to be there for you. You have to keep a control on yourself, and if you want to spend, go ahead. Money is not everything, but know that you'll have to earn that money back, because it's very hard being an international student. In summer, you can't work in McDonald's or in Burger King or anything. You can't work there. If you're an international student, you have to work on campus, and it depends on the place. If you work in NYU, you get a $15 minimum wage. If you work in a smaller city like Bangalore, Allentown, you don't get that much. So really know that if you're spending a lot of money needs to come into your account.
That's pretty insightful, actually, I'll be honest. So, what are your plans after you're done with your undergrad degree? Are you planning to do a master's? Are you planning to move back to India? I'm sure you're not going to do that, but are you going to work, or do you want to have another degree with you? What's your plan?
So it depends basically two ways. If I get into media and comm, I would really like to get into production and video editing and all that, and I really love that field. But I have 3 more years to figure out if I really like it, so I have time. So I'm fine with it. Then I really want to get into research, and I really want to get a PhD, and I'm gonna apply to colleges all over the world. And my main aim is to go to Australia,
I completely agree with you. So you mentioned that you should have research done apart from just knowing what course it is and all that, and you suggested testimonials. Apart from that, was there anything that you did while applying? Some research that you did because you chose this college.
So do research about the people who you're meeting, and do research about like really the culture in that college, because sometimes the college might be one of the best in the world, but and you might get in, but it might not be the fit for you, because like I would never fit in like Harvard or like NYU. Like I wouldn't get in, but I wouldn't fit in there too, because that culture is very like competitive, and it's very like hectic. Like it's exactly like the JEE and like the NEET preparation in India. It's very like you have to be on your toes 200% of the time, which is, I don't like that. I feel like your mental health is much important than anything. So do your research, and it's very important. Another thing I would do, I if it was Muhlenberg, would have like done my research on is the community, the Allentown community, and like the place that you are in general, because you're gonna spend 4 years living here, so you have to know a bit about the community too.
Right. Thank you so much, Shobha, for your answers. They were so insightful and pretty relatable. Thank you so much for giving us your time.